Namaste students. Now let us know the difference between home trade and foreign trade. What is home trade? Home trade is a trade within the particular nation is called home trade, or it is also called domestic trade, or it is also called intra national trade. Means within the country, the trade is here carried on. It is called home trade. Then foreign trade means here across the border of the nation, if the here trade is carried on, that is called foreign trade, or it is also called international trade. Okay, now we'll see what are the differences here exist between the home trade and the foreign trade. Now see home trade versus foreign trade. Okay, now what all major differences are there we have listed in here. So you can see here more than this there are some other differences. Only for the study purpose we limited to some extent. So for home trades, here I told you it is within the nation, so it is called domestic trade, and the foreign trade it is here beyond the country. We are carrying on the trading activities. That's why it is a foreign trade or international trade. Usually for home trade, payments can be made or payments should be made in home currency only. We have to make the payments only in home currencies. But when we are doing the foreign trade, or when there is a foreign trade, this here foreign trade means other than our we are trading with other than our countries. So there are so even very next to our country is also the foreign country for us. So we have to pay in their own currencies, when we are importing the goods, and when we are exporting the goods, we have to get our own currency from them. So foreign trades are to be paid invariably in convertible currencies. Means we have to convert the currencies and the payments are to be made, or which can be easily here converted into the currency of other country, or universal currency you have to make use. Dollar is considered as universal currency, so dollar also can be used. Even euro currency now it is being popularized, but not that much of dollars. Okay, then what next difference is there? Let us see. Home trades generally have no restriction of movement within the country. Within the country, free movement is there. But in international trade, to some extent, there are restrictions as to the movement of specific goods and specific goods to specified countries. Movement is there. The momentum is restricted, because you know that even nowadays we can see Bangla people are just they have come into the nation and are having their own residence here. First of all, we only don't have place, so they are coming and residing here. So lots of problem. One day, what will happen? Only we in Indians will become the minorities. All foreigners they occupy our places, and all this may happen. That's why we have to restrict the foreign entries. So not only in India, everywhere there is tax. Even we can see when Indians are going to America, then they visas are the different kinds of green visa, visa, that like that. Variety of visas are there for permanent citizenship and all these. Only in some countries they should give citizenship to those who are very intelligent, and they don't give citizenship to those who are not very sharp like that. So all these things are there. We know that. Then third difference what we can find here is home trades have trades are taxes levied by the government and local bodies. See, we all we have in direct tax and indirect tax within the nation. Now indirect tax, different kinds of indirect taxes were there, indirect taxes were there. All the indirect taxes are now reduced by the GST, right? Here, goods and this GST is there, goods and service tax is there, was common taxes there in are all over the country. So it is being here, the indirect taxes are replaced by GST now. But per here, the direct taxes we have to pay only, alright? Direct taxes like here on our income, on our salary, that all is still existing. It is not replaced yet. And we pay the sales tax and all these are all indirect taxes. Unknowingly we pay the tax, but we pay the tax, that we have to keep in mind. It's just within the country. So country local bodies like some within the state policy, some taxes, portion of taxes goes to state bodies, and some goes to central authorities like this. So government collects and local bodies collects taxes on the home trade. In the international trade, they also have levied tax, but those taxes are called custom duties. Okay, here these invariably go to the federal government. It goes to the federal government, right? So custom duties it is to be paid to the federal government. See that. Then next point, what we can see here is in the domestic trade or home trade, they are comparatively simple, very simple, and easily one can understand. We no need to follow such a very great rules, regulations. Rigidity is not there. Even small kid also can go to the shop and buy. That is what here is home trade. Very simple and easy to understand also and to follow also. But see, when foreign trades, foreign trade is there, so we have to follow so many rules and regulations. We have to keep set of different set of documents. They are in every time they are to be filled, they are to be submitted, they are to be approved by the authorities. So it is when compared to this one home trade, foreign trade is bit difficult. For foreign trade procedures are there. According to the procedure only we need to go. Maybe the import procedure or the export procedure. We have to follow the procedure. And in case of payment, maybe in the foreign currency conversion. So many rigid rules are there. Those are to be followed. That is in case of international or foreign. Okay, next. Insurance of consignment set to foreign trade are compulsory. So insurance here, when the consignment means, so consigner sells goods. See, goods. The producer who produce the goods, he sends all his goods to consign here, consignee. So the producer is called consigner here. He says to consignee. Consignee means only possession of goods he will be having, but he will not be the owner of that goods. Only like some showrooms and all there are some showrooms like vehicles, car showrooms are there. Then your two wheelers, bikes showroom. All these are they're all consignees. Consigner is the producer. These consignees usually work on behalf of the work for the consigner, and even for the work done they get the commission, that is consignment commission. So what happens here, uh, here that is what insurance of consignment say, whatever it is sent to the consignment goods, what we are sending is called consignment goods. So usually, whatever here, the quality or the quantity of goods sent to or bought from the other countries, they are for them for those goods and those items here, insurance coverage is must. Insurance coverage is very compulsory because here the quantity is very big. Here huge quantity will be there and the value also more, so that's why the risks are more. Usually, this international trade or foreign trade. So, for that purpose, we use sea transport or ocean transport. So, they are subject to lot heavy risks. To cover the risk, insurance is must. But usually for the home trade, it is not compulsory. It is only optional. Only for very precious goods and all these, even that too, it is optional. We can take the insurance. Otherwise, no need. It's not even for whatever we are daily, day to day, we are consuming. We are not here taking any insurance risk coverage. Okay, so that is here. Insurance is must for the foreign international trade or foreign trade, we say. But for the home trade, insurance is not compulsory. It is optional. If you want to have risk coverage, then you can go for insurance. If you don't want to cover the risk, then no need. It is optional. Okay. And even for international trades, 6 months, years together, it takes time sometimes. But home trade, no problem. Within no time, we get the goods also. That's why it is not subject to much risk, home trade. Okay. Then next point, what we can see here is usually foreign trades are preceded by payment or promises of payment made by the international foreign exchange traders. So, payment. So, what is here for the foreign trades? They are preceded by payment or promises. So, they either payment for the foreign trade, payment must be made or promise to pay in future. So that at least that should be given for the exchange of goods and services. So that promise is called letter of credit. So in domestic trades, payments are realized usually after the trade is executed. As soon as the goods are bought or sold, the trade is being executed. No problem, carried on. No problem. No need to wait for a long time. So depending on the credit rating of the parties concerned, even a simple promise is not taken. Here, promise is not taken. So letter of credit is domestic here. In domestic trades, it is not important. Letter of credit usually it's not there, but not ruled out. Remember, it is not compulsory because here payment easily you can make the payment within no time. Moreover, it is within the nation. Risk is here. Even we know each other. That's why uh, either advance payment or promise of payment is not compulsory, but we can have it. Okay. Then 7 point what we can discuss here is even for foreign trades, credibility of parties can be got verified through the trade representative of the countries involved in the transactions. Trade representatives will be there. So those who are the credibility means, so what credit worthiness he has means when we are selling, or whether he makes payment at right time, and what is the purchaser, his quality, what kind of bank facility here, what kind of say, banking activities he is running, running short of account balance. All these we have to check. So before this one involving with the foreign trade. So this is important. But these are all not there. Usually not found in home trade. Home trade usually we can buy from unknown person or so no problem. Easily you can buy. Even most of the cases, most of people think it is a cash basis, but nowadays credit basis is also there. Because why credit basis are there? Because some costly products and all this, at one payment we cannot pay to the seller. That's why they allow us EMI facility every month, like salaried people and all this. Every month they can pay here little amount every month. That's why they can even instead of postponing the purchase, they can prepone the purchase and they can postpone the payment of payment to the seller. That is the possible. Usually credibility of parties and all thoroughly will not be checked. Even home trade also a little bit they check, but not like home trade for a foreign trade. Then in the next point is On receipt of consignment at a foreign country, the documents are handed over to the buyers only after payment is realized. Means on receipt of consignment of a foreign country, consignment at a foreign country, when you see when the goods are imported by the particular foreign country, then imported means we are sending our goods to a foreign country. Then when the documents, because various documents will be there, otherwise here without the documents we cannot purchase anything, that too in case of foreign trade and all this. So before handing over the this one documents, as in the seller they wants to realize the payment. So afterwards, what happens? The banks concerned remit the payment to the seller through normal international banking channels. See, nowadays, and you know that ATM is there, all there, international banking anywhere, any nook and corner of the bank, you can go and operate. Even American account, you can operate in sitting in India only. So like this it is. So here the banks concerned the remedy here. Usually, what happens in the import and export or in business, the sellers and buyers are here. They take the service of particular bank. Their one particular bank will be there. They may here. They give all the risk, responsibility, everything. They transfer to these banks usually, because bankers on the behalf of a foreign buyer or the seller, it works. That's why it is to be given. So that's why banks concerned with the remitter payments to the seller through normal international banking channels. They have to, he has to do this. But in respect of domestic trade, bankers may or may not be intervened. Bankers are usually no need. Then payment can be directly sent to the sellers by the buying party. They can send directly to the buying party can be directly to the sellers. That is there. Okay, next difference is uh, is what we can say here is under the United Nations Charter. Charter means here principle. We can say under the United Nations Charter, goods prohibited for specific countries cannot be sent to them by member countries. Some goods even in India, some what opium and the opium is prohibited. Opium, you know, opium. If you consume opium, then all these it is drug like. So opium consumption of opium is restricted or somewhat it is not allowed. So under the United Nations, it is for all the nations. United Nations Charter is there. According to that principle, which goods are not used or prohibited for any country or maybe India cannot be sent by the foreigners here to that member country, because there it's not good. It's nobody will be there unless it is a torture they feel, I think. Then penalties extending to boycott of trade with that country may follow. Okay, that also happens. In domestic trades, such this one probabilities do not exist. Usually in domestic trade, that usually doesn't have, we cannot see. So far we have not seen. It doesn't happen in most of the cases. Then lastly, what we can discuss is international trades are further governed by, yeah, international trades are further governed by agreements between member countries and general agreement. So there usually agreement will be there. So usually those agreements are governing the member countries, as well as that is the selling, the country which is selling and the country which is buying. Those agreements are governing, controlling them. So agreement on tariffs and trade, all these are controlled by the by this one general agreement and the this one special agreement. Okay. In domestic or home trade, This such kinds of agreement is not at all required. Agreements are not required. Even we are not going through any agreement as such. Okay, now we have seen the differences between the home trade and the this one international or foreign trade. So in the next this one video, we'll see the procedure involved in foreign trade, that is import and export procedure. So until then, you be at home, be safe, and take care of yourself. Study well, remember, study well. So don't forget. So whatever notes given to you, try to read them thoroughly, word by word you read. So do good for the and be ready to face the forthcoming examination. Thank you, and all for the patient listening.